Hey everyone, this is Charisma, and this is my healing journey. The topic of today's discussion is my mother never loved me and never will. I know that's hard to believe sometimes that someone who gave birth to you doesn't have maternal feelings towards you, doesn't like you, doesn't give a darn about you. I mean, we always think that, we always hear about absentee fathers, deadbeat fathers, but there's a lot of mothers out there as well, and I'm a witness to that, who care less about their children. And I know for a fact, me personally, my mother never loved me, never has. She doesn't have the capability to love me. And I can say that now with with it not hurting as badly as it has in the past. But in the past, it has hurt me a lot. I mean, my mother didn't even raise me. She gave up her parental rights to me when I was 2 years old. And when I was 27, I hired a private investigator, and that's how I ended up finding her again and reconnecting with her. And it's something's wrong. I should have known. The first red flag was in the private investigator. I could feel the hesitation in her voice. It's like she really didn't want to give me my mother's information. I could just feel it, being more empathic. You can feel people, how they feel, what's going through their heads. And I could tell that she really didn't want to give over the information, because the Holy Spirit told me that she had access to information in her databases and court cases, why I had been taken away from my mother. She had access to that paperwork that obviously she didn't have the heart to tell me that, maybe you shouldn't reconnect with your mom. But I found out on my own anyways. I mean, I can remember the first time I pulled up on my mother. It was after I had gotten her information. I think I took the first airplane in New York City, maybe a week or two later. She knew who I was, of course. How could she not know who I am? She gave birth to me, but I could just feel a sense of fear coming off of her, like she wanted to be anywhere but with me. And I mean, she got high a lot, as far as like weed. She wanted to just stay high on weed, and I indulged her as well, because I just was so super excited to see my mother and connect with her. But just as things came out, it occurred to me that she when she first went to jail when I was 8 weeks pregnant, I went to my daddy's people, and then she wanted me back after she got out of jail when I was 2 years old. She had me for 3 months. And then within 3 months, she had already lost me, went back to jail, and signed over her parental rights. And then I stayed with my grandfather and grandmother and father until they passed away in 1993. I was 4 years old. First was my grandma. 3 months later, my daddy went. So it was just my grandpa from then on out. And I'll call this individual the aunt, because by blood she's an aunt, but she did nothing but torment me and terrorize me throughout my childhood, because of whatever her and my father, their animosity towards each other, their bad relationship. And she took it out on me because he was no longer there. So boom, I already don't trust females. But then I come across my mother, and come to find out, as the story came on, she was like, "Yeah, I wanted you back because I felt like if I got you back, then your father would come running after me and would want me back too." But that's not how it went, because he kind of lost interest in her after she got pregnant with me, because she does have a terrible story of abuse. Like I said, this is generational stuff that trickles down. She had been in the foster care system herself, had been abused and molested from a very early age. She has no clitoris. That's crazy. Like, how people in the Middle East and Africa, they get their clitorises cut off so that they can't feel sexual pleasure. Well, my mother had that same procedure done. She said she remembered when it happened. So when she first told me that, I didn't believe it. And you have to show me. And she showed me, and sure enough, she had no clitoris, none of that. So that bled into my father not wanting her, because she could not feel sexual pleasure. She told me, when I have sex, I feel nothing. I feel nothing at all. So, but I mean, obviously she felt something emotionally from my father. But like I said, he did not want her anymore. And I think it wasn't so much to do with that, but because of her extreme mental illness. Come to find out, she had schizoaffective disorder. So she's extremely mentally ill. So that probably had a lot to do with him wanting to disconnect from her and wanting nothing to do with her after I was born. Is that right? No, it's not right. But at the same time, to take that out on me, as she eventually took it out on me, there's no excuse in the world, because I'm a product of that. So to take that out on me was heinous. And if I didn't have the love of the Lord in my heart, I would say unforgivable. But the things she did to me, she, if you look at previous videos, she admitted to molesting me, beating me. Even as an adult, trying to get to know her, she tried to pawn me off and sell me off to her weed drug dealer. Just trying to get me, trying to pawn me off to him so that she could get drugs for free. Just anytime that I was around her and I got attention from people, just extreme jealousy. Even going so far as to, I was stranded in the middle of Harlem one time because we went to a shop, and the shop owner was treating me very kindly. She could tell she liked me, I liked her. And this is a shop she had went to previously all the time. And the woman showed me kindness, and she was angry at that, started an argument in the middle of Harlem, ended up leaving me stranded. I went back to the shop. The lady who owned the shop ended up taking me back to Brooklyn where my mother lived. And I just couldn't take. I got my stuff, and I was supposed to stay a week, and I just got my stuff and figured out a flight, and got on the first thing smoking back to Indianapolis. And then I remember that night that I was trying to go to sleep, the night that she knew I was leaving, she turned the music up on loud, turned the TV on, started telling me, you're not nothing. You're the type of person who will do this, that, and that. They're like blaming me for all the ills in her life. Like, she blamed me for everything. Like, and how could you blame me for anything that went wrong in your life when you abused me, you mistreated me, and I'm still coming at you now? And you're saying, well, the only reason you want to even be near me is revenge. And I would be like, revenge for what? What did you do? What would I possibly want revenge for? And just really treating me bad, and just a lot of emotional abuse. And even, I would off and on, and she'd say she's sorry, and, wanting to use me for buying her things. And I would buy her little things like food and clothing that she needed. But I remember the last time I seen her, it was Thanksgiving 2022. And she got mad at me because I wouldn't buy her a pair of Uggs. The day before Thanksgiving, we had went to this expensive buffet and with my husband at the time, and she was mad because my husband would not speak to her. And I was just like, I told him, don't talk to her, because previously, before we had went down to New York, when she found out that I was getting married, she was livid. She was mad. She was on the phone talking to my husband, telling her, don't marry her. She's stupid. She's nothing. She's not nothing. Why would you marry a dumb bitch like her? And she's just like her dumb dad, and just all types of stuff. And why I went and still visit her after she talked bad to me like that, I just, honestly, I was so used to that type of abuse that she said sorry. So, okay, I forgive you. She's my mother. She doesn't mean it. She's mentally ill. But it come to find out, what if she really does mean these things? What if she really doesn't mean me well? What if, in spite of her mental illness, what if this is just her personality? What if it's just hateful like this? And this is how it's always going to be? And this is after me, like, she got kicked out of her apartment, was homeless in a shelter. I got her out. I got her her social worker. I got her back into her apartment. I'm talking to judges, just getting her situated. And you still hate me. And I kept on taking this abuse because I felt like, well, she's my mom. Well, I need to forgive her. And that's true. But when a person keeps hurting you and keeps hurting you, and they don't have any intentions to stop hurting you, at what point are you like, okay, I've got to disconnect to save myself, to save myself heartache, to save myself grief, to save myself pain? I can't keep taking this, because I don't deserve to be treated like this. So I had to disconnect from her. And when she realized, I mean, I'm darned if I do, darned if I don't, because even after I disconnected from her, leaving me nasty text messages saying that she wished that she had an abortion. She should have, killed me when she had the chance. And I just terrible, terrible things. So I haven't talked to my mother in about almost a year now. It's definitely been almost a year, and I have no intentions of ever reconnecting with her again, because you have to finally come to the realization, whether they're flesh or blood or not, if a person's not treating you the way you deserve to be treated, it doesn't matter. I owe her nothing. I owe her absolutely nothing. If you don't love me, if you don't respect me, no matter what I do, if you just want to use me and abuse me, then it's time for me to disconnect. And I wish her the best. I have no issues with her. I wish her peace. I wish her just a modicum of just happiness. If she will, I wish her healing. And I do this because I've got to let go. I'm letting go. I'm giving her to God, because I've got to focus and heal and parent myself. If I don't have a mother and I don't have a father either, I've got to parent myself. I've got to be my own best friend. And no, I'm not. I was mad for a long time at my situation, but now I'm not mad, because even though it's not my fault, these circumstances that happen, it's my responsibility to heal from all that I've been through. And if that means disconnecting myself, I've moved away from Indianapolis, which was nothing but bad memory after bad memory. I've disconnected from people, places, things, my aunt, my cousin, my mother. And I'm just trying to rebuild my life and just to take it from there and just heal one day at a time. And it feels so good getting this out. I always say there's power in storytelling. There's power in telling your story, because when you don't voice it, where does it go? It just stays inside. And when you just keep stuff bottled inside, you can't heal. You can't heal. But now that I'm letting this stuff out, I can make room for good memories, for happy memories. And I feel grateful that I'm in a place where I'm able to tell my story without breaking down, without being filled with depression, because I'm finally understanding that I can't identify myself because of these terrible instances. That doesn't identify me. That doesn't determine the person that I was or am or could ever be. And I feel stronger because of all that I have survived, and I can be a beacon of light and hope for other people going through the same thing. And that's what I really want to do. That's why I tell my story. That's why I'm not going to shut up, even about uncomfortable topics that people don't want to face and don't want to deal with, because we're only sick as our secrets. And I'm on my healing journey, and everybody who wants to join me, take my hand. Come on, let's do this together. I got you, sis. I got you, bro. And some days you have good days, some days you have bad days, but you put one foot in front of the other. You be kind to yourself. You show yourself the compassion that you wish somebody had showed to you. And as far as my mother goes, I'm gonna continue praying for her, because I know that her abuse of me is a function of the abuse that she suffered, and my heart cries out for the child that she was, for the young woman that she was. But at what point do we empathize and save ourselves? So that's why I've got to set down that empathy for her and pick up the empathy for myself, so that I can reach my fullest potential, and for all of y'all to reach your fullest potential too. I mean, it don't feel good, and it hurts a lot when the people who give birth to your parents, your mom, your dad, brothers, and it's not the ideal family, and you have to separate to start to go on about your business, because they always gonna feel the way they feel about you. They always probably gonna be the way who they are, unless there's an intervention from God up above. But don't hold your breath for them to change, because they not. 9 times out of 10, they not changing. They gonna stay the same, because they don't want to heal. They don't want to do the work. But what makes me different, what makes you out there different, is that we gonna do the work, and we gonna make it. Regardless if your mama, I know my mama hates my guts, but if your mama or your daddy hates your guts, just know that God loves you. When your mother and father forsake you, the Lord will take you up. God puts lonely people into families. And this is all scripture. So just hold on to those promises of the Lord. And he's always been there. And we might not understand the reasons for these messed up situations, but God knows, and God's gonna get the glory out of it regardless. So I'm gonna wrap up this video. I got a lot of things in the works. Trying to find employment, trying to make a way for myself so that I can have a stream, so that God can give me a stream separate from corporate 9 to 5 America. Because the way this stuff is going, this DEI stuff, the dismantling of it, not that it was worth a darn anyways, but it's about to get really, really rough out there for people of color, specifically Black women. Okay, because that's the only point of reference I have. And it ain't been nothing nice and nothing pretty to begin with. So we were going all the way back to antebellum slavery, antebellum South. And I know I don't deserve that. I don't deserve all of the things that I've been through just trying to work and make a living for myself. And neither do any of my sisters and my brethrens out there too. We have to trust really hard and lean on God in these times to be our providers and understand He's our providers at the end of the day. I did go off on a tangent there, but the whole point I'm trying to make is God got us regardless of our beginning is how we end up. And I'm just thankful that there's love in my heart. Even after all that I've been through, I still have the audacity to love. Number one, I have the audacity to love myself. And God put in me the ability to still love and still give a damn about somebody else. And just be that beacon of hope. Because without hope, you ain't got nothing. Nothing at all. Thank you so much if you've reached the end. I want to thank you for all your love and support. Continue liking, commenting, and subscribing. It really helps me. It helps the algorithm find me. So I'm done for today. New content is uploaded weekly, so stay tuned. Thank you once again. This is Charisma, and this is my healing journey. Peace.